Try to be the worst of yourselves.
We want to have debates about issues. We don't want to talk about hand size.
We are actually going to get into a room and pretend to be those candidates.
If you ask the question in a familiar way, you'll get a familiar answer.
Let's stick to these deadlines.
Well, a successful debate, I think, is like an iceberg, right? The part that you can see, that the audience can see in those couple of hours on TV, is preceded by many, many, many times that of preparation. You really have to think about how you want to make news.
The intensive prep process probably started 6 weeks before the debate. We all got in a room. We had our counterparts from PBS.
It began with assembling these enormous briefing books on every single potential policy area that could be a focus of questions.
I mean, we had to do this in addition to our normal job as well, so it was just a lot of hours.
Our team is getting ready to do a mock debate for the first time. We're going to get on stage and pretend to be our characters. I play Andrew Yang.
How you feeling? Excited? You tired?
I'm a little tired. We had our Christmas party last night.
Oh yeah.
Not the best of timing.
Alex dressed up.
I did. I'm a character actor. And really method acting is my approach.
Steyer is famous for wearing a necktie that's kind of plaid. So actually over the weekend I went to 5 or 6 different stores to try to find a tie that closely represents it.
You start to find out things you didn't know about your candidate maybe a little bit. Some of the things that they really care about, but maybe they don't talk about that much while they're campaigning or on other debate stages.
Could you give me your best impression of Andrew Yang?
I spent the last 5 years covering House and Senate races, and you certainly get your experience of seeing debates, but never to the degree or the intensity that you'd see in a presidential debate like this.
We'll have drafts
Next week.
Great.
Okay, good.
Yeah, just let's stick to these deadlines.
As political coverage expanded dramatically, there was just this sort of entrepreneurial, we're going to hold a debate, and as many candidates who wanted to come, Politico was part of this and hosted more than one debate at a time when there weren't as many rules.
Along with my colleague and friend John Harris of the website Politico.
If you are a presidential candidate, you may only go to a DNC-sanctioned debate. If you go to a non-sanctioned debate, you are automatically disqualified from the official DNC-sanctioned debate.
Well, when I had the privilege of being elected DNC chair in 2017, my job was to rebuild trust. Back in 2008, there were literally, I think, 25 to 30 debates. The sanctioned debate process was put in place in response to that reality. Well, our job is to win elections up and down the ballot. We are data-driven in coming up with our thresholds because we want to make sure it's fair to everybody. So for instance, the 4% threshold in December, that wasn't taken out of thin air. No one who has been under 4% in the December before the first caucus and primary has ever won.
So this cycle, 2020, the DNC was trying to respond to 2 things. One, they were responding to the argument by Bernie Sanders and his supporters that the DNC had put its thumb on the scales for Hillary Clinton in 2016. And then the second thing was the Republican primaries, which were very unwieldy, huge number of candidates.
The DNC's role, I mean, they are the ones who, they have to organize this, but they don't put it on. This is an editorial process. But this is actually a show, a show within PBS. This isn't PBS writ large. This is PBS NewsHour. That team over there, they've had to cover both impeachment and prepare for this debate at the same time. It's the same group of producers who are wearing a lot of hats at once. So there's a lot of just creating a foundation of questions that are strong and sharp. And at its core, forces the candidates off their talking points. That is an incredibly important thing. Studying the way these candidates have answered questions, trying to ask it in new ways.
Okay, so what we're doing today is a stylistic media training. So we're focusing a lot on body posture, mannerisms, and some of the challenges that come into moderating a debate.
If this were to happen when you were president, what specific immediate actions could your administration take? Well, I thought I was being punked, but then once I realized they were serious, I was just really honored because we have an embarrassment of riches in this newsroom.
Tim, Unlike these other candidates on stage, like Senator Warren and Senator Sanders, I take a more moderate, reasonable approach to these issues.
Senator Klobuchar, respectfully, that came nowhere close to answering the question. I hope that I can just do it in my own way, because we're all a little bit different in how we approach this job. As the calendar year draws to a close, and as we turn the calendar into 2020, this is the time of year where the time in a presidential cycle where voters really do begin to get their hooks into these candidates.
We are in Los Angeles at the debate stage. We have over 50 people here from Politico. UCLA, the original site for the debate, was having a labor strike, and so the DNC didn't want to get involved, and so we ended up moving locations to LMU. And on Friday, we found out that there was going to be a picket line in another labor dispute.
Democratic presidential candidates are vowing to boycott the upcoming presidential debate in Los Angeles.
We didn't know what was going to happen, and we had put so much work and time into this. I was told to proceed as if it was happening, and we didn't find out until Tuesday morning.
You can't really settle on stuff. This is a moving ball, and you want to be as current as possible.
If there were one question you could ask all of the candidates that they would each have to answer, what would that be?
Probably, why the hell do you do this?